The tea merchant swore he had saved the finest leaves for tonight, though I suspect he simply heard your familiar footsteps and raised the price. Come in, wandering Taoists, shake the mountain dust from your robes and warm yourselves beside the brazier. The Jianghu has already begun whispering about a certain cold-eyed youth who refuses to behave like an ordinary C-grade talent. Fang Yuan has stolen first place from his A-grade brother, unsettling both the academy and the clan's powerful family branches. Now, during the Moonlight Gu assessment, ridicule erupts after his first strike flies wildly astray, but with only 2 attacks remaining, Fang Yuan is about to reveal whether his earlier victory was truly luck. Dawn had not yet broken over Qingmao Mountain. The eastern horizon showed only the faintest trace of pale light, while the darkness of night slowly withdrew from the heavens. Mist clung to the mountain paths, and the cold scent of midnight still lingered in the air. The clan streets were empty and silent until hurried footsteps shattered the stillness. Guyue Fangjeng strode through the moist mountain air, yet he felt none of its chill. His cheeks were flushed, his breathing was quick, and his heart burned with excitement. For several days he had cultivated without rest. He had consumed 2 precious primeval stones and refused to sleep for the entire previous night. At last the Moonlight Gu had submitted to him.
I cultivated so bitterly these past few days, and spent 2 primeval stones. I did not sleep at all last night, and I finally refined the Moonlight Gu. I possess A-grade talent, and I worked harder than anyone else. No one could possibly be faster than me. No one. Father, Mother, I told you I would never disappoint you.
Only moments earlier, when he had delivered the good news to his aunt and uncle, their faces had filled with relief and happiness. That memory sent another wave of pride surging through him.
Just wait. All of you clansmen who once looked down upon me, and you too, brother. From this day onward, I will make every one of you look up to me. Guyue Fangjeng.
His fists clenched, his pace quickened. In his imagination, the academy gates had already become the entrance to a glorious future. For Fangjeng, refining the vital Gu was more than the first step of cultivation. It was proof that his talent, obedience, and relentless effort had finally placed him above the brother whose shadow had haunted him for years. Soon the academy entrance appeared before him. The 2 guards stationed outside turned toward the approaching youth. Their expressions became strangely uncertain.
Guyue Fang Yuan, why have you returned?
Fangjeng stopped.
What? My brother was here just now?
A trace of surprise crossed his face, but he quickly dismissed the thought. Never, not even in his wildest imagination, could Fang Yuan have taken first place from him. He shook his head, cupped his hands, and raised his chin with unconcealed confidence.
Elder brothers, I am not Guyue Fang Yuan, I am Guyue Fangjeng. I have successfully refined my vital Gu. I have come to claim the reward for first place.
The guard on the left widened his eyes.
You are Guyue Fangjeng? You 2 brothers look far too similar. No wonder even the academy elder mistook one for the other.
The guard on the right slowly shook his head.
You arrived 1 step too late. Late last night, your elder brother, Guyue Fang Yuan, came here to meet the academy elder. He has already taken the reward for first place.
Fangjeng's eyes snapped wide open.
My elder brother. Wait, you said he obtained first place?
The words struck him like a palm blow to the chest. How could it be Fang Yuan? Fang Yuan possessed only C-grade talent. The very idea seemed absurd, as though someone had turned the rules of cultivation upside down.
It is true. Why would we dare joke about something like this?
The guard's expression hardened slightly at Fangjeng's disbelief.
The academy elder has already confirmed the result. The ranking list will soon be posted publicly. What is the matter? Did your elder brother not tell you?
Fangjeng remained frozen before the academy gates, as though his soul had been left several steps behind his body. Reality was completely different from the glorious scene he had imagined. For a time, his thoughts could not even grasp what had happened. In Fang Zheng's heart, he had already created a list of rivals. The two greatest threats were Gu Yuemo Bei and Gu Yue Qi Chen. Both possessed B-grade talent. Behind each of them stood one of the clan's two largest family branches, backed by influential elder grandfathers and vast supplies of cultivation resources. Had either Mo Bei or Qi Chen taken first place, Fang Zheng would have been disappointed, but he had prepared himself for that possibility. Their strength, status and support made them worthy competitors. Fang Zheng could accept defeat to someone he considered powerful. What he could not accept was losing to the one person he had already judged beneath him. His pain did not come from the reward alone, it came from the collapse of his entire understanding of himself. The one who had seized first place was neither Mo Bei nor Qi Chen. It was not even one of the rivals Fang Zheng had acknowledged within his heart. It was Gu Fang Yuan, his elder brother, the C-grade talent, the youth who had fallen from admiration into dejection after the awakening ceremony, the student who slept through lessons, the drunkard who wandered outside at night and often failed to return home, the brother who had bullied Shen Kui, struck Fang Zheng twice and taken away all his primeval stones, the shadow that had always pressed down upon him, buried deep within his heart.
How can this be? It is impossible. I worked harder than anyone. He drank every day until he could barely stand, yet he was the one who obtained first place. Is that fair? Why did it have to be him?
The sun finally rose from the east, birds began to sing, and the overflowing breath of spring swept across Qingmao Mountain. Warm sunlight poured over Fang Zheng's body, but it could not reach the cold confusion inside him. He slowly lowered his head. His teeth ground together as he stared at the lonely shadow beneath his feet. The excitement that had filled him moments earlier escaped like air from a punctured skin bag. In its place came resentment, fear, unwillingness, humiliation, and bewilderment. This was Fang Yuan's first true victory over Fang Zheng after the awakening ceremony, yet no blade had been drawn. With nothing more than a ranking, he reopened every wound in his brother's heart. As the sun climbed higher, a new ranking list was posted upon the Academy's bulletin wall. Only two names appeared. First, Gu Fang Yuan. Second, Gu Fang Zheng. The news spread through the clan like wind through dry bamboo. Young students who had secluded themselves at home to refine their vital Gu were thrown into an uproar.
How could this happen? I could have believed it if Fang Zheng obtained first place, but Fang Yuan? Is he not merely a C-grade talent? Could the Academy have made a mistake? The A-grade Fang Zheng actually lost to the C-grade Fang Yuan. This sounds like a tale from the 1001 Nights.
Talent determined the size of one's future potential, but it did not decide every single contest. Fang Yuan's victory exposed a truth the younger generation had not yet learned. Cultivation was never governed by talent alone. Timing, resources, will, and hidden methods could overturn expectations. Within the Mo family branch residence, spring greenery overflowed through the courtyard. The fragrance of freshly brewed tea drifted beneath the eaves. Guemo Chen, one of the Guyu clan's elders, sat before his desk and calmly admired the scenery beyond the window. He lifted his cup and took an unhurried sip.
Mo Bei has stopped refining his Gu.
The housekeeper standing beside him immediately lowered his head.
After young Master Mo Bei heard the news about Fang Yuan this afternoon, he seemed deeply shaken. He no longer has the heart to continue refining the Moonlight Gu. It is truly unfortunate. Young Master Mo Bei was already extremely close to success. Had Fang Zheng obtained first place, perhaps he could have ignored it, but the victor was Fang Yuan, a mere C-grade talent. Young Master Mo Bei has lost his motivation. It cannot be helped.
Mo Chen's expression instantly became stern.
Do not make excuses for him. Every step along a Gu master's cultivation path is filled with hardship. What does one minor setback amount to? Fang Yuan possesses only C-grade talent. His first-place victory was most likely the result of luck. The Moonlight Gu he selected must have possessed an unusually weak will, allowing him to refine it ahead of the others. If Mo Bei cannot see through something so simple, and if such a small defeat is enough to crush his spirit, how will he command the Mo family branch in the future? How will he compete against the Chai family branch? No one is permitted to comfort or advise him. Let him think this through by himself. Yes, master.
The housekeeper dared not offer another word. Mo Chen understood that the true contest between family branches would not be decided by a single early victory. He was testing Mo Bei's temperament, because a future leader needed more than talent and resources. He needed a mind that could withstand defeat without collapsing. Almost at the same time, within the residence of the Qi family branch, another elder contemplated the same unexpected name.
Guye Fang Yuan.
Guye Qilian released a long sigh. His brows drew together as he slowly waved one hand.
Someone summon young Master Qi Chen.
Before long, Guye Qi Chen entered the room. His expression was dispirited, yet he still knelt with proper respect.
Your grandson greets grandfather.
Qilian studied his only direct grandson with a gentle gaze.
It seems you've already heard the news. I called you here so that this matter would not disturb your heart. When refining one's vital Gu, talent is the first factor, the second is the Gu worm itself. Fang Yuan possesses only C-grade talent, yet he still obtained first place. This means the Moonlight Gu he selected had a much weaker will than those chosen by the rest of you. His victory was entirely due to luck. Therefore, my grandson, you must not become discouraged over something so insignificant. Fang Yuan is a C-grade talent, just as you are. However, the resources available to him cannot compare with those of our Qi family branch. His path of advancement will be far more difficult than yours. Believe your grandfather, you will soon surpass him.
Qilian's reasoning revealed the ruthless foundation of clan cultivation. Aptitude mattered, but wealth and elder support could compensate for weakness, accelerate refinement, and widen the distance between youths who had begun at the same level. Qilian's eyes narrowed slightly as his tone became more instructive.
Put this trivial matter aside. Fang Yuan will not become your opponent. He is not worthy of being treated as your rival. Your true enemies are the A-grade talent Fang Zheng and the Mo family's Guyu Mo Bei. Do you understand?
The gloom upon Qi Chen's face faded. In its place arose a renewed fighting spirit.
Yes, grandfather, thank you for your guidance. I understand now. I will return immediately and continue refining my Gu.
Qilian nodded with satisfaction. A warm, kindly smile emerged upon the old elder's face.
Good grandson. Although your aptitude is only C-grade, you may set your heart at ease. Your grandfather will support you with everything the Qi family possesses. Later, I will personally release the aura of a rank 3 Gu worm to suppress the will of your Moonlight Gu. With my assistance, you will refine it successfully.
And there lay the deepest irony of the morning. The clan elders dismissed Fang Yuan's achievement as luck, while secretly preparing rank, wealth, and authority to force open the paths of their own descendants. Fang Yuan had won first place alone, but from this moment onward, the entire clan's hidden power struggle had begun to move around him. The heavens stretched blue and flawless above Qingmao Mountain, pure as though spring rain had washed every trace of dust from the sky. golden sunlight poured across the peaks, while soft white clouds drifted like wandering sails upon an endless celestial sea. Beneath those clouds, a flock of colourful peacock parrots swept through the air in an arrow formation, their cheerful cries echoing across the mountain. Each bird was as large as an eagle, with a curved parrot's beak, rainbow-coloured feathers, and a magnificent peacock tail streaming behind it. These rare birds gathered in such numbers only during spring. Their arrival was a sign that winter's silence had truly ended, and that life had once again claimed the mountains. 10 days had passed since Fang Yuan seized first place in the examination to refine a vital gu. Now, warm winds rolled across green slopes, wildflowers opened eagerly, and bees and butterflies danced among them as if celebrating the birth of a new year. The aura of spring was so powerful that even the towering bamboo walls surrounding the academy's training ground could not keep it outside. The training field covered 3 mu. Its ground was level and paved with broad slabs of grey graphite, while dense rows of green spear bamboo stood around it, straight and unyielding, forming a circular wall like countless jade lances pointed toward the heavens. Grass pushed stubbornly between the stones at the base of the walls. Wild roses slipped through gaps in the bamboo, and several vines had even climbed upward, scattering small blossoms across the stern academy grounds. At the centre of this field stood 57 youths, every one of them 15 years old. They formed a broad semicircle, a large circle around the academy elder, watching him with anticipation, curiosity, and no small amount of nervous excitement. Today's lesson would teach them how to wield the Moonlight Gu in battle.
The Moonlight Gu is the symbolic gu of our Gu Yue clan, just as the Bear Strength Gu represents the Xiong house and the Stream Gu represents the Bai house. Most of you have chosen the Moonlight Gu as your vital gu. Watch carefully, because I will personally demonstrate how to use it for an attack. Those whose vital gu is not the Moonlight Gu must also pay attention. This is a classical long-range attacking method, and its principles can be applied to many other gu worms.
As his words faded, the academy elder raised his right hand and spread his 5 fingers. He lowered his palm so that every student could clearly see its centre.
First, use your mind to mobilize the Moonlight Gu and guide it into the centre of your palm.
At his command, the crescent-shaped mark representing the Moonlight Gu moved down his arm. Like a pale moon travelling through hidden meridians, it arrived silently in his open palm.
Next, mobilize the primeval essence inside your aperture and pour it into the Moonlight Gu.
A thread of white-silver primeval essence emerged from the elder's body. It was so fine that ordinary eyes could barely follow it, yet it flowed with perfect control into the crescent mark resting in his palm. The academy elder possessed rank 3 cultivation. Only Gu masters at that realm could produce white-silver primeval essence. Rank 1 Gu masters possessed green copper primeval essence, while rank 2 Gu masters wielded red iron primeval essence. These colours were not merely names, they marked the growing density and quality of a Gu master's foundation. Every rise in rank transformed not only the amount of power one commanded, but the very nature of the primeval essence sustaining every Gu worm. The moment the Moonlight Gu absorbed that thread of white-silver essence, the crescent mark began to shine. Its radiance intensified with every breath until brilliant pale blue light spilled from the elder's palm, vivid even beneath the midday sun.
That is incredible. It is so beautiful.
Amazement swept through the semicircle. The blue radiance was clear and fluid, flickering like water touched by moonlight. At a glance, it appeared as though the academy elder had scooped a fragment of the night sky into his hand. The elder allowed himself a faint smile.
Now watch closely. The final step is to launch it.
His 5 open fingers slowly closed. He lifted his arm, extended it forward, and with a movement steady enough to reveal long years of practice, swept his palm through the air in a clean cutting motion. Swish! A light brushing sound passed beside the student's ears. The condensed blue radiance flew from the elder's palm and transformed in midair into a small moonblade. It was no larger than an open hand, curved like a crescent moon hanging in the darkness. Yet the pale blue blade crossed 10 meters in a perfectly straight line, carrying a sharpness that made the air itself seem fragile. A tearing sound split the field. The moonblade struck a grass puppet 10 meters away. Its neck, nearly 30 centimeters thick, was severed in a single flash. The puppet's body swayed and its enormous head crashed onto the graphite floor. Though the blade dimmed after cutting through the target, it continued flying for another 6 meters. Only then did the crescent fade, dissolve into scattered blue light, and disappear completely. The student stared at the severed neck. The cut was smooth and level, as though made by the keenest sickle in the clan's armory. Several youths instinctively touched their own throats. The beauty they had admired moments before had revealed its true nature: cold, swift, and lethal. This was the first lesson hidden within the Moonlight Gu. In the world of cultivation, splendor and danger often wore the same face. A radiance beautiful enough to mesmerize the eye could, in the next heartbeat, separate a head from its body. Silence held the training field for several breaths. Then admiration erupted. Young eyes shone as some stared at the fallen puppet, others at the elder's palm, and still others whispered excitedly among themselves. Only one person remained unmoved. Hidden among the crowd, Fang Yuan watched with a cold expression. His posture was calm, his breathing undisturbed, and not the slightest ripple of wonder appeared in his dark eyes. In his previous life, Fang Yuan had cultivated all the way to rank 6. In the Middle Kingdom, he had established the Blood-Winged Demon Sect, commanded and instructed tens of thousands, and become a renowned giant of the demonic faction. Compared with the storms he had once crossed, the Academy Elder was merely a rank 3 Gu master, and this Moonblade demonstration was nothing more than a child's trick. This was the gulf between Fang Yuan and the other youths. They saw the beginning of a mysterious, immortal path. He saw a basic technique he had surpassed centuries ago. Their hearts burned with discovery, while his remained as still as an ancient winter lake.
Everyone who has refined the Moonlight Gu, step forward, take a grass puppet and imitate what I have shown you. Form the Moonblade, launch it, and practice your attacks.
Around 30 students immediately moved out from the semicircle. This year, 100 youths from the clan had participated in the awakening ceremony. Only 57 possessed the talent required to cultivate. Of those, roughly 35 had chosen the Moonlu as their vital Gu and successfully refined it during the previous days. Those who had not completed the refinement were all D-grade talents. It was not that they lacked desire. Their apertures simply offered too little support, and after confronting the difficulty firsthand, they had been forced to withdraw. To the young members of the Guyo clan, the Moonlight Gu was far more than a common Gu worm. It was an emblem of their bloodline, their heritage, and the glory of the clan itself. The 35 students quickly formed a straight row. 10 meters in front of each of them stood a grass puppet waiting in silence. Fang Yuan stood near the middle of the line. Despite winning first place 10 days earlier, he attracted little attention at that moment. The practice began. 35 right hands rose, crescent marks travelled into open palms, and one after another, water blue lights appeared as streams of green copper primeval essence flowed into the Moonlight Gu. The students copied the elder's cutting motion, but from the entire row, only 7 or 8 moonblades successfully emerged. Some crescents appeared for only an instant before vanishing, others travelled merely 2 or 3 meters, then burst apart into blue light. Several flew farther but veered wildly off course. with one even shooting uselessly toward the sky. Frowns spread across the young faces. When the Academy Elder performed the technique, every movement had appeared effortless. Now that they attempted it themselves, they finally understood how much control was hidden inside that simple gesture. Forming a moonblade required several actions to occur, almost as one: directing the goo worm, regulating primeval essence, condensing the light, maintaining its shape, and releasing it along the intended path. A failure in any single step could ruin the entire attack. The Academy Elder watched with a faint, knowing smile. He witnessed the same struggle every year and showed no surprise. The remaining 22 students could only stand beyond the practice area. Unable to participate, they watched the flashing blue crescents with jealousy burning in their eyes. After 5 minutes of repeated attempts, the students gradually began producing more moonblades. Pale blue crescents soon filled the training field, crossing through the spring air like fragments of a shattered moon. Yet chaos followed. Some moonblades faded halfway to their targets. Some collided with one another. Others twisted out of the training field entirely. Only a small number struck the grass puppets, and even those successes came mostly from luck. The Academy Elder began moving down the line, personally correcting the students. He devoted particular care to Fang Yuan, Mo Bei, Qi Cheng, and the others with strong latent talent. He adjusted their posture, explained how to guide the primeval essence, and patiently passed on details gathered from years of experience. When he reached C-grade students such as Fang Yuan, however, he offered only 2 brief sentences before moving on. The Elder's preference was practical rather than sentimental. In the clan's eyes, resources invested in high-grade talent promised greater future returns, potential determined attention, and attention-determined opportunity. Such was the quiet cruelty beneath the Academy's orderly surface. Fang Yuan continued condensing blue light in his palm. Several times he swung his hand through the air without releasing it, deliberately pretending that he could not complete the technique. The field had already descended into disorder, and no one was watching him closely. Fang Yuan shifted his thoughts, loosened his restraint on the Moonlight Gu, and tilted his palm by the smallest degree. He did not aim at the puppet directly before him. Instead, he selected the target to his left. With a soft whoosh, a moonblade shot from his palm. It passed through the heart of the chaos, slipped between the erratic crescents of the other students, and carved a flawless straight path toward the neck of the neighbouring grass puppet. The blade struck precisely. The puppet trembled as a deep wound appeared across its neck, the most significant result anyone had achieved so far. But the severed grass soon began to move. Green fibres twisted together, new strands grew from the wound, and the damaged neck rapidly healed. This was no ordinary training dummy. It was a rank 1 scarecrow Gu with a nature-type self-recovery ability. Unless its body was cut completely in half with a single attack, it would restore itself within a short time.
Look at that crescent. That was amazing. Who launched it?
Moonblades that could hit a puppet were still rare. Fang Yuan's casual strike had created the deepest wound of the entire practice, immediately drawing cries from the students standing outside the field. Even the Academy Elder turned toward the target.
That moonblade was not bad. Was it yours?
His gaze settled on a C-grade male student standing directly opposite the wounded puppet. The boy blinked in confusion. With moonblades flying everywhere moments earlier, even he had no idea whether the successful strike belonged to him. However, with every gaze fixed upon him and the puppet positioned directly ahead, he began to think that perhaps it truly had been his attack. After a moment's hesitation, he nodded. Admiration immediately appeared in the eyes of those around him.
Who is he? What is his name?
Gu Yue Mo Bei's eyes sharpened with determination. If even an ordinary student could produce such a moonblade, then he, with superior talent, refused to fall behind. Gu Yue Fang meanwhile, released an inexplicable breath of relief when he realized the attack had not come from his elder brother. After being comforted by his uncle and aunt, Fang Zheng had finally begun recovering from the blow of losing first place. He convinced himself that Fang Yuan's victory had come only from luck, from encountering a Moonlight Gu whose will was unusually weak. True cultivation, he believed, could not depend upon fortune forever. Fang Zheng desperately needed that belief. If Fang Yuan had succeeded through skill, then Fang Zheng's A-grade talent no longer guaranteed superiority. By reducing his brother's victory to luck, he could protect his wounded confidence and continue imagining an inevitable triumph. The Academy Elder placed a hand upon the mistaken student's shoulder.
You did well. Continue working hard and remember the feeling you had when you released that attack.
The boy's confusion transformed into excitement. He nodded repeatedly, his eyes shining with a confidence that had not existed moments earlier. Fang Yuan remained silent. He had concealed his ability, redirected the credit, and escaped attention with a single calculated strike. That tiny deception revealed more about Fang Yuan than the Moonblade itself. His goal was never to impress classmates or collect empty praise. He understood that exposed strength attracted scrutiny, while hidden strength preserved freedom. In his hands, even mediocrity could become a disguise. Seizing the moment, the Academy Elder raised his voice so that every student could hear.
Listen carefully. This will be your assignment. Practice after class, because in 3 days I will examine your results. Whoever performs the best will receive 10 primeval stones. Do you understand? Yes.
The promise of 10 primeval stones ignited the field. Excitement surged through the students, and their movements became more eager as they once again poured primeval essence into their Moonlight Gu. For these young Gu masters, primeval stones were not merely a prize. They could replenish primeval essence, extend training, and purchase additional chances to improve. 10 stones represented a genuine advantage on the cultivation path. Yet only 3 minutes later, a number of Moonblades crossing the field began to fall.
Damn it! Every Moonblade consumes 10% of my primeval essence. The consumption is too great. I am only a C-grade talent, and my aperture holds 38% green copper primeval essence. I can launch only 3 Moonblades.
One after another, exhausted students lowered their hands and sighed. Their desire to continue remained, but their apertures had already been drained. The Academy Elder observed them calmly, though within his heart a quiet sigh arose. The secret to mastering the Moonblade could be expressed in 3 simple words: practice makes perfect. But those with higher grade talent possessed larger reserves of primeval essence and recovered them more quickly, granting them far more opportunities to practice. Those with poorer talent could partially compensate by consuming primeval stones and increasing the number of attempts, but a low-grade talent without wealth could do nothing. No matter how fiercely such a person wished to train, the lack of essence and resources would bind their hands. This was the true cruelty of Gu master cultivation. Talent produced more primeval essence. More essence created more practice. More practice produced greater skill, and greater skill attracted still more resources. Advantage fed upon itself, while those who began behind were forced to spend twice the effort merely to remain visible. Faced with that reality, the Academy Elder knew where the clan expected him to place his attention. He would nurture Fang Zheng, Mo Bei, Qi Cheng, and the other promising seeds, while the weaker students struggled with whatever opportunities remained. Yet the Elder could not see the greatest danger standing quietly among them. The student he regarded as an ordinary C-grade talent had all mastered the lesson, hidden the evidence, and manipulated the entire field without drawing suspicion. While everyone else fought to launch a moonblade, Fang Yuan was already deciding when the world was permitted to witness his blade at all. The sun had already vanished beyond the western ridges, yet its final embers still burned across the heavens. Distant mountains lay beneath a heavy veil of grey, their outlines slowly sinking into darkness. Another day of lessons had ended within the clan academy. Young students streamed through the gates in groups of 2 and 3, their voices lively beneath the fading light.
Today was incredible. I learned so many things, especially how to control the Moonlight Gu. The Moonblade looks magnificent when it cuts through the air. Unfortunately, my aptitude is too low. I will probably become a logistics Jew master instead of fighting on the battlefield.
The teenagers spoke without restraint, dreaming of battlefields, shining moonblades, and futures that had not yet revealed their cruelty.
Let us get something to eat. We can drink rice wine while we are there. What do you say? Of course, that sounds good. Go ahead without me. I need to visit the shop beside the Academy Gu room and buy a grass puppet. It will make practicing at home much easier.
While his classmates scattered toward food, wine, and evening leisure, Fang Yuan walked alone toward the Gu room. The Academy Gu room housed many varieties of rank 1 Gu worms. Fang Yuan's Moonlight Gu had also come from this place, selected during the students' free opportunity to obtain their first Gu. Such free opportunities were rare. Any student who desired additional Gu worms would have to pay the price from their own pocket. For now, Fang Yuan had no intention of refining another Gu. He passed the Gu room and entered the small store beside it. 7 academy students already crowded around the counter, each bargaining fiercely with the owner over the price of grass puppets.
It is you, junior brother.
The rank 1 Gu master managing the store was only in his 20s. Even while negotiating with the other students, he greeted Fang Yuan almost instinctively. Fang Yuan recognized him at once. It was Xianxia, the young Gu master who had once disciplined the hunters inside the inn.
So it is you, senior.
Fang Yuan gave a small nod. His face remained calm, betraying neither surprise nor enthusiasm. Xianxia retrieved a grass puppet from behind the counter and handed it to a waiting customer. Then he turned toward Fang Yuan with a warm, almost intimate smile.
Did junior brother also come for a grass puppet? I can reserve one for you. It will only cost 3 primeval stones. These puppets sell extremely quickly. Only 7 remain. Wait too long, and there may be none left.
Toward ordinary mortals, Xianxia carried the natural arrogance of a Gu master. Toward someone like Fang Yuan, however, his manner became friendly, sincere, and carefully respectful. Fang Yuan shook his head, secretly amused. Xianxia truly understood how to conduct business. The grass puppets were produced through the Scarecrow Gu. Even after counting the primeval essence used in their creation, the true cost should not exceed 1.5 primeval stones. Xianxia was selling them for twice that amount and using scarcity to silence every attempt at bargaining.
Senior, that is unfair. It should be first come, first served. Why should you reserve one for him? Exactly. We arrived earlier. If you want to run a proper business, you should follow the rules. 3 primeval stones, then. Here they are. Give me a grass puppet.
The moment the students heard that only 7 puppets remained, their resistance collapsed. Negotiation gave way to urgency, and primeval stones appeared one after another upon the counter. Within moments, all 7 teenagers walked out carrying their purchases, satisfied that they had seized a rare opportunity. They believed they had defeated scarcity. In truth, scarcity had defeated them. Xianxia had merely spoken a few carefully chosen words, and 7 hesitant customers willingly paid his full price.
Does junior brother still want a grass puppet? It may appear that they are sold out, but there is an 8th puppet hidden beneath the chest. Buy it now, or you may lose the chance.
Fang Yuan had no interest in the puppet. He placed a single primeval stone upon the counter.
I want 10 moon orchid petals.
Xianxia paused. He studied Fang Yuan for a moment, then silently accepted the stone and opened a drawer beneath the counter. He withdrew a paper packet and placed it before Fang Yuan.
10 moon orchid petals, not one fewer. You may count them yourself.
Fang Yuan inspected the goods immediately. Finding no error, he left the store with the packet in hand. A gu worm was not a treasure that could simply be refined and forgotten. It had to be fed. A gu master refined gu, candid gu, and raised gu. Each path contained its own hardships. Refinement carried the danger of backlash. Usage demanded long practice and precise control. Yet the art of feeding gu was perhaps the broadest and most troublesome of all. There were countless gu worms beneath heaven, and their appetites were just as strange. Some swallowed soil, some absorbed starlight, some drank human tears. Others survived upon clouds and air gathered from the 9 heavens. Fang Yuan possessed 3 gu. The Moonlight Gu required moon orchid petals twice each day, once in the morning and once at night, consuming 2 petals with every meal. The liquor worm lived on wine. 1 jar of green bamboo wine could sustain it for 4 days. The spring-autumn cicada was stranger still. It did not consume flowers, blood, beasts, or primeval stones. It drank directly from the river of time. The river of time sustained the movement of the entire world. It did not flow in some unreachable corner of the heavens. It passed beside every living being, closer than breath, yet invisible mortal eyes. Every gesture, every heartbeat, every life and death required the current of time to carry it forward. Time resembled flowing water, silent, colourless, and forever rushing onward. All creatures believed they walked upon solid ground, yet in truth they lived submerged within its endless river. This was what made the spring-autumn cicada extraordinary. Its food was not merely rare, it was something no merchant could stockpile, no clan could monopolise, and no ordinary gu master could even touch. After purchasing the moon orchid petals, Fang Yuan went to the inn to obtain green bamboo wine. The liquor worm could survive on turbid wine or ordinary rice wine, but such inferior alcohol was inefficient. It would need to consume much more, forcing Fang Yuan to purchase several jars every day. After calculating the cost, Fang Yuan determined that green bamboo wine remained the better choice. It offered greater value and, more importantly, would not draw unwanted suspicion.
Young sir, you have arrived.
The workers at the inn already knew Fang Yuan well. He placed 3 primeval stones before one of them and spoke with practised ease.
Bring me 1 jar of green bamboo wine and several good dishes. Keep the change here. When the accumulated amount reaches 1 primeval stone at the end of the month, deduct it from my bill.
Although Fang Yuan had moved into the academy dormitory and no longer stayed at the inn, he still ate here whenever he came to purchase wine.
Certainly, young sir. Please take a seat. Your dishes will be brought immediately.
The worker led him to a table, removed the cloth from his shoulder, and wiped the surface clean before leaving. As promised, the dishes arrived quickly. Fang Yuan ate while silently arranging every expense in his mind.
1 primeval stone purchases 10 moon orchid petals. The Moonlight Gu consumes 4 petals each day. A jar of green bamboo wine costs 2 primeval stones and feeds the liquor worm for 4 days. Merely sustaining these 2 gu costs nearly 1 primeval stone every day.
1 stone per day might not sound frightening, yet for an ordinary mortal household of 3, a single primeval stone was enough to cover an entire month's living expenses. 16 days had passed since Fang Yuan began refining gu. Feeding them alone had already consumed 14.5 primeval stones.
I obtained the flower wine inheritance, took Fang Zheng's pouch of primeval stones, and received the reward for placing first. At my wealthiest, I possessed 44.5 stones, but the early refinement wasted 6.5. Feeding the gu consumed another 14.5, and my living expenses required half a stone. That should leave me with 20.
Fang Yuan opened his money pouch. Inside lay greyish-white primeval stones, each oval in shape and roughly the size of a duck egg. He counted them carefully. There were exactly 20. At his current rate of expenditure, those stones would sustain him for only another half-month. Unlike his classmates, Fang Yuan had no relatives or friends willing to continuously support him. Guye Mo Bei and Guye Chi Cheng came from wealthy family branches and possessed abundant resources. Fang Yuan could rely only upon himself. Cultivation did not merely test talent, it tested wealth, calculation, and the ability to seize resources before others could. A poor genius could be strangled by expenses long before reaching his true potential.
Uncle and aunt have already stopped paying my living expenses. Every weekend, however, the Academy grants each student 3 primeval stones as a subsidy. It seems I must distinguish myself during the Moonblade assessment 3 days from now and claim the reward of 10 primeval stones.
Fang Yuan continued chewing as he planned. Though his mind carried 5 centuries of experience, his present body remained that of a growing 15-year-old. Without noticing, he finished every grain of rice and every dish placed before him. Taking the sealed jar of green bamboo wine, Fang Yuan rose and left the inn.
Young sir!
The worker hurried after him and stopped him outside.
There is something you should know. In less than a month, a trading caravan will arrive at the village. By custom, they always purchase green bamboo wine from our inn. Since young sir enjoys it and buys several jars each week, the innkeeper instructed me to warn you beforehand. Our supply is limited. Once the trading company makes its purchase, I fear very little will remain. Is that so?
Fang Yuan's brows tightened slightly. With 500 years of experience judging people, Fang Yuan could distinguish calculation from sincerity. Xianxia and the inn worker had used similar words, but their intentions were entirely different. Xianxia had manufactured urgency to close a sale. The worker, however, was delivering an honest warning. Fang Yuan did not trust words. He judged the motive hidden beneath them. The news presented a genuine problem. The liquor worm required a vast supply of green bamboo wine over the long term. Should the inn run out, Fang Yuan would be forced to rely upon large quantities of inferior wine. He could not openly purchase several jars every day. Such excessive consumption would soon attract suspicion, and suspicion was often more dangerous than poverty. After a moment of thought, Fang Yuan removed 10 primeval stones from his pouch.
Then I will buy another 5 jars. Have someone carry them to my academy dormitory. Certainly, young sir.
The worker accepted the stones without hesitation. Moon orchid petals would remain fresh for only 5 days without specialized storage, so Fang Yuan could purchase only 1 packet at a time. Green bamboo wine, by contrast, could be stored for a long period. Stockpiling it created no difficulty. Several workers followed Fang Yuan back to the academy and placed the 5 wine jars beneath his bed. Once their task was finished, they bowed and departed. Fang Yuan looked down at the money pouch in his hand. Only moments ago it had held 20 primeval stones. Now it had been flattened by another heavy expense. He released a quiet breath. Refining Gu was difficult. Raising Gu was no easier. And this was already under favourable circumstances. Fang Yuan possessed 500 years of experience, so he did not need to repeatedly practice the basic use of his Gu. His refined control reduced unnecessary expenditure of primeval essence and saved him a considerable amount of money. Other students his age had no such advantage. To master the Moonlight Gu had to practice repeatedly, consuming primeval essence with every attempt. When their natural recovery proved too slow, they had to absorb energy from primeval stones. Even a simple grass puppet used for training cost another 3 stones. Every improvement in proficiency was purchased with resources. Every wasted moonblade was not merely a failed attack, it was primeval essence lost, primeval stones consumed, and cultivation time burned away.
Fortunately, the spring-autumn cicada feeds upon time rather than material food. Otherwise, I would already be bankrupt. There is no possibility that I could afford to sustain it.
For once, Fang Yuan felt genuinely fortunate. The higher the rank of a goo worm, the greater its appetite usually became. Its food might be required in enormous quantities, or it might be exceedingly precious and rare. A normal rank 2 goo alone could demand 1 or 2 primeval stones of food every day, and that was only when its food could actually be purchased. Certain goo required materials so uncommon that they never appeared in ordinary markets. A goo master might possess wealth, yet still watch helplessly as his goo starved. The spring-autumn cicada's food, time itself, was even more precious. An old saying declared that an inch of gold could never purchase an inch of time. No matter how vast one's fortune became, could it purchase yesterday? Could it reclaim a single lost breath? It could not. This also revealed the terrifying nature of the spring-autumn cicada. It survived upon the one treasure that emperors, immortals, beggars and beasts all possessed, yet none could ever hold. In theory, a goo master could refine an unlimited number of goo worms. 10, 100, even 1,000 were possible, provided the refinement succeeded. Yet in reality, most goo masters maintained only 4 or 5 goo. The greatest reason was simple: they could not afford more. The higher a goo's grade, the more expensive its upkeep. Too many goo worms could bury their owner beneath an endless struggle for food and resources. But wealth was not the only limitation. A goo master also had to possess enough primeval essence to use them. 1 moonblade from the Moonlight Gu consumed 10% of Fang Yuan's primeval essence. A goo master with C-grade aptitude could empty the primeval essence in his aperture after only 3 or 4 attacks. What purpose would there be in raising dozens of goo if one lacked the strength to activate them? Thus, among goo masters, there was a crude but famous comparison. Raising a goo was like maintaining a mistress. A mistress required food, clothing, and shelter. Supporting one was already expensive. Supporting many could ruin an ordinary man. Even if a man somehow possessed the wealth, his energy remained limited. He could not attend to them all. Would he keep them merely to admire from a distance? As a goo master's rank increased, the feeding requirements of his goo also rose. Therefore, the apparent lack of a numerical limit meant very little in practice. Most goo masters kept only 4 or 5 goo worms corresponding to their own level. Raise more than one could sustain, and cultivation would cease to be a path toward power. It would become a road leading directly to bankruptcy. And so before Fang Yuan could contend with powerful enemies or overturn the heavens, he first had to survive a quieter battle, the relentless war of resources. With only 10 primeval stones remaining and the Moonblade assessment 3 days away, the next prize was no longer merely an honor, it had become a necessity. 3 days passed. Morning light spilled across the Academy's martial arts field, illuminating the cold, bluestone tiles and the rows of young goo masters gathered beneath the open sky.
Lower your body and evade. This is the standard method for restraining a swinging fist. When the enemy charges, squat immediately and counterattack his abdomen or crotch. Do not fear an opponent who begins by wildly swinging his fists. Most people who attack like that are impulsive fools without patience or judgment.
As he spoke, the muscular instructor demonstrated every movement. A wooden puppet swept its right fist toward his head, carrying a harsh gust through the air. He dropped beneath the blow in one fluid motion. Before the puppet could recover, his fists hammered into its abdomen again and again, driving the wooden construct backward until it crashed onto the stone. The students stood around him in a wide circle, yet instead of excitement, listlessness clouded most of their youthful faces. The academy offered many courses, and this lesson concerned the foundations of martial combat. To these inexperienced youths, however, fighting with ordinary fists and legs seemed crude and unimpressive. Compared with the shining crescent of a moonblade cutting through the air, such practical movements possessed neither elegance nor spectacle. Their bodies remained on the field, but their thoughts had already flown toward the next lesson.
The next class is the Moonlight Gu assessment. How has everyone's practice been? Mine is acceptable. I can release 3 moonblades, but only a few land properly. Usually, 2 manage to strike the grass puppet. That is about the same as me. I even bought a grass puppet so I could practice during these last few days.
Whispers spread through the crowd like restless insects. Every youth was thinking about the approaching assessment. For days they had practiced after class, exhausting their primeval essence and sharpening their control. Now their hands itched to display the results. The murmurs reached the instructor. His gaze snapped toward the distracted students, and his voice struck the field like a war drum.
No talking during my lesson. Shut your mouths and watch carefully.
He was a rank 2 Gu master, broad-shouldered and powerfully built. His upper body was bare, his bronze-coloured skin crossed by countless scars, silent records of battles in which hesitation would have meant death. One shout from him released enough pressure to crush the students' idle chatter. In an instant, silence descended over the martial arts field.
The foundation of martial combat is the most important thing among all important things. During the early stages of a Gu master's cultivation, it can matter more than anything else. Focus your attention.
After reprimanding them, he summoned another wooden puppet. Its light yellow frame stood 2 meters tall, and every step of its enormous feet produced a sharp crack against the bluestone floor. The puppet spread its arms and lumbered forward. Though clumsy, its size alone was enough to intimidate an ordinary youth. The instructor slipped past its attack, wrapped both arms around its waist, controlled its hips, and drove forward with explosive strength. The towering puppet lost its balance. Its body slammed heavily onto the ground, shaking dust from between the stones. Before it could rise, the instructor mounted its waist and unleashed a rain of punches upon its head. The puppet resisted for only a few breaths. Then its wooden skull shattered beneath the relentless assault, and its entire frame collapsed, motionless. The instructor rose despite the violence of the demonstration. His breathing remained deep, calm and steady.
When confronting a larger enemy in close combat, do not panic. Destroying the opponent's center of gravity is one of the most reliable ways to suppress him. Grip his waist, control his hips, and push forward with your full strength. Once he falls, seize the opening, mount his body, and strike without mercy. Anyone lacking defensive methods will collapse immediately.
The students nodded repeatedly, yet disapproval lingered in most of their eyes. To them, the technique looked ugly, simple, and beneath the grandeur of a Gu master. The instructor noticed their expressions and sighed bitterly within his heart. Every new generation behaved the same way. Young minds were naturally drawn toward dazzling techniques and magnificent displays of power. Without having endured a real battle, they could not understand that the plainest movement was often the one that preserved life. Splendor could frighten an enemy, but a stable stance, accurate judgment, and ruthless timing decided who remained standing. For a Gu master at the beginning of cultivation, basic martial arts might appear unimpressive, but its practical value could surpass even the Moonblade.
Remember this. In close combat, do not keep staring into the enemy's eyes. Watch his shoulders. Whether he punches or kicks, the shoulders will reveal the movement first. Speed is also essential. But I am not merely speaking about the speed of your fists. The movement of your feet is even more important. Distance is the best defense. Keep your legs flexible. Only then can you release your strength in a sudden burst. When throwing a punch, maintain a triangular support with your stance. Otherwise, your enemy may not fall, but you will.
He continued explaining with uncommon patience, demonstrating each principle with his own body. These were not theories copied from dusty records. They were lessons purchased with blood, scars, broken bones, and countless encounters with death. Unfortunately, the students understood none of that weight. Before long, whispers returned, and once again their discussion revolved around the coming Moonlight Gu assessment. Among the distracted crowd, only Fang Yuan remained attentive from beginning to end. He watched in silence, sometimes nodding, sometimes subtly shaking his head.
This instructor is extremely practical, but his method of teaching is flawed.
The instructor lacked structure and discipline in arranging his lessons. He taught according to whatever entered his mind, causing useful principles to emerge in a disorderly flood of complicated information. At first, many students listened seriously, but as the lesson grew scattered, their interest faded and their attention wandered elsewhere. Fang Yuan alone absorbed every word. While the others were learning these principles for the first time, he was revising knowledge already carved into his instincts. His combat experience far exceeded that of the instructor. Even so, hearing another veteran explain his methods offered Fang Yuan a chance to compare, confirm, and refine his own understanding. This was one of Fang Yuan's most dangerous qualities. He did not dismiss weaker people merely because his experience surpassed theirs. He extracted whatever value they possessed, discarded what was useless, and silently turned another person's lifetime of hardship into nourishment for his own path. A Gu master's combat methods were generally divided into melee and ranged techniques. The Moonblade belonged to ranged combat, though its effective distance of only 10 meters placed it more accurately within medium range. The martial arts instructor represented a close combat Gu master. Those who walked this path usually selected Gu worms capable of strengthening their bodies, granting extraordinary power, agility, reaction speed, endurance, or resilience. The instructor's bronze-coloured body was not his natural complexion. It came from the effect of a copper skin Gu, which greatly increased the toughness and defensive power of his skin, allowing him to endure injuries that would cripple an ordinary man. Fang Yuan's thoughts continued to turn with cold precision.
A single Moonblade consumes 10% of one's primeval essence. In a real battle, how many times can a Gu master release it? For beginners who still struggle to strike accurately, the number of effective attacks is even smaller. The Moonblade can only serve as a trump card. Its power to intimidate is greater than its actual lethality. For a rank 1 Gu master, martial combat is the truly reliable weapon. Fists and legs are more durable, more consistent, and do not vanish merely because the primeval sea has been exhausted. Unfortunately, they will never understand this until reality forces them to pay for the lesson themselves.
He swept a light glance across his peers. A faint sneer appeared on his lips. The other students saw the Moonblade as proof that they had stepped beyond mortals. Fang Yuan saw something else. A costly weapon with limited ammunition, uncertain accuracy, and countless weaknesses. This difference in perspective was not born from talent, but from having already survived the cruelty they had yet to encounter. At last, the foundational martial arts class ended. After a brief rest, anticipation blazed in the students' eyes. The academy elder had already arrived, standing before a row of grass puppets arranged near the bamboo wall. Without wasting time, the elder raised one broad hand and pointed toward the targets.
Today, I will inspect the results of your training. Come forward in groups of 5 and attack the grass puppets 3 times with your moonblades.
The first 5 students stepped onto the field. Swoosh! Pale blue crescents flashed through the air after 3 rounds of attacks. Only 9 moonblades had struck the grass puppets. The Academy Elder shook his head, displeasure tightening his expression. The accuracy was poor, and among the 5 students, only 2 had managed to release 2 moonblades successfully.
You must practice properly after this, especially you and you.
He reprimanded them briefly, then swept his hand toward the waiting crowd.
Next group.
The 2 students who had been singled out lowered their heads and left the field in shame. One was a young girl whose reddened eyes betrayed the grief in her heart. She possessed only C-grade talent. Worse still, she could not bear to spend primeval stones to restore her primeval essence quickly. During the past 3 days, she had practiced very little, and her control over the moonblade remained unsteady. A Gu master needed wealth to refine Gu, wealth to feed Gu, and even more wealth merely to practice using Gu. Her parents supported her as much as they could, but every household had its own burdens. Where could an ordinary family find an endless supply of primeval stones? Lacking resources was one of the most common chains binding a Gu master's path.
I never had the slightest chance of obtaining first place anyway. It would be wiser to give up and preserve my primeval stones.
As that thought settled in her mind, her grief gradually faded. Resignation brought her a fragile kind of peace. She was far from alone. Many students had made the same calculation. Because they were unwilling or unable to spend resources on practice, their performances remained poor. With each disappointing group, the Academy Elder's brow sank deeper. Fang Yuan watched and silently shook his head.
These people are pitiful and foolish. For the sake of saving a few primeval stones, they abandon their opportunity to improve. Primeval stones exist to be used. If your only ambition is to hoard them like a miser, then why become a Gu master in the first place?
The problem was not merely poverty. It was the choice to protect present comfort at the cost of future strength. Resources spent wisely could become skill, and skill could seize even greater resources. But those who feared every small loss would remain trapped within the limits they were desperate to preserve. Short-sighted people haggled over every fragment of profit, pursuing minor gains while sacrificing what truly mattered. Those with lofty ambitions were different. They knew when to endure loss, when to release what they held, and when to wager everything upon the road ahead. Then, among the waiting students, Guyo Mobei's long face brightened with confidence.
It is finally my turn.
He strode onto the field. His stout figure carried a fierce, sturdy aura, and after planting his feet firmly, he raised one hand. 3 moonblades flew out in succession. All 3 struck. 2 blades landed squarely upon the grass puppet's chest. The third sliced through its left arm, shaving away a spray of green grass. Admiration burst from the surrounding students. After so many poor performances, Mobei's flawless results seemed especially dazzling.
Well done.
The Academy Elder's deeply furrowed brow finally relaxed a little. The next group advanced, with Guye Qicheng standing among them. He was short and small, his face covered with pockmarks, and a trace of nervousness clung to his expression. He released 3 moonblades without pause. Each blade struck the puppet's chest, carving 3 overlapping wounds into its woven body. The cuts varied from deep to shallow, yet within a few breaths, the grass puppet's self-healing ability restored them, leaving its surface whole once more. Qi Cheng's result matched Mobei's exactly and earned the Academy Elder's praise. Qi Cheng left the field with his head held high. As he passed Mobei, he deliberately met his rival's eyes with a defiant stare.
Umph.
Mobei answered with a cold snort, but he did not continue exchanging looks with Qi Cheng. Instead, his gaze remained fixed upon one person who had yet to step forward, Gu Fang. Mo Bei understood the true balance of power among the students. Only two people could seriously threaten him, Gu Qicheng and Gu Fang. Qicheng possessed B-grade talent, equal to Mo Bei's, and his family continuously supplied him with primeval stones. With both aptitude and resources, his progress could not be underestimated. Fang Yuan, however, possessed A-grade talent, although his supply of primeval stones was not as abundant as that of Mo Bei or Qicheng. His primeval essence recovered naturally at a far greater speed. That extraordinary recovery allowed him to practice repeatedly within a short period, granting him an advantage no ordinary student could easily overcome. Mo Bei's judgment was accurate. Qicheng relied upon talent reinforced by family wealth, while Fang Yuan possessed the overwhelming natural advantage of an A-grade aperture. At this stage, the contest was not merely about accuracy. It was a glimpse of which clan faction might dominate the younger generation. Qicheng had already revealed his result and tied with Mo Bei. Now only Fang Yuan remained. Group after group completed the assessment. Then, among the final students, Gu Fang finally stepped onto the field. With Mo Bei and Qicheng standing at 3 perfect hits, every eye now turned toward the Academy's sole A-grade genius. Would Fang Yuan merely equal them, or would his talent finally reveal a gap that the others could not cross? Whispers stirred through the Academy grounds as the next youth stepped onto the training stage. Though the twin brothers had grown beneath the same roof and carried the same family name, there were still students who could not tell them apart.
Is that Fang Yuan or Fang Zheng? It is Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan always wears that cold expression. He would never look so nervous. Then this should be worth watching. Fang Zheng is the village's only A-grade talent in 3 years, after all.
At those words, countless gazes converged upon the field. Expectations gathered around Fang Zheng like an invisible mountain, pressing down upon his young shoulders. Standing beneath the sunlight, Fang Zheng felt every stare piercing into him. His breath tightened. His fingers trembled almost imperceptibly. Possessing A-grade talent had granted Fang Zheng admiration, resources, and limitless expectations. Yet that same talent had become a chain around his heart. Everyone believed he should excel, and therefore every mistake threatened to become a humiliation. He gathered his primeval essence and released his first moonblade, intending to strike the broad chest of the grass puppet. But tension twisted his aim. The watery blue crescent veered away from its intended path and carved a glowing mark across the puppet's neck instead. A ripple of surprise passed through the watching youths. They believed Fang Zheng had done it deliberately, rather than choosing the puppet's chest, the largest and easiest target. He had challenged the narrow neck. To them, this was not an error, it was a declaration of confidence. Expectation immediately rose. The students leaned forward, eager to witness Fang Zheng's next strike. Gu Mo Bei and Gu Qicheng, however, both darkened in expression. Only 2 people on the entire field had clearly recognized Fang Zheng's mistake, the Academy Elder and Fang Yuan. Fang Zheng stared at the mark upon the puppet's neck, his heart pounding. He knew how dangerously close he had come to missing entirely, and relief quietly flooded through him. He drew several deep breaths, forcibly suppressing the turmoil inside him. Then he attacked twice more. This time, there were no mistakes. Both moonblades struck the grass puppet squarely in the chest. The Academy Elder gave a faint nod. Mo Bei and Qicheng also relaxed. Fang Zheng's performance differed from theirs, but the final ranking would depend entirely upon how the Academy Elder weighed accuracy, difficulty, and control. The assessment appeared simple, 3 moonblades and 1 stationary target, yet it tested far more than accuracy. It revealed a Gu master's composure, and control of primeval essence, consistency under pressure, and ability to recover after failure. Fang Zheng had recovered, but he had not dominated. The surrounding students sighed. After the apparent boldness of Fang Zheng's first strike, the two ordinary chest hits felt disappointingly plain, and the groups that followed brought no greater excitement. None surpassed the performances of Guye Mo Bei, Guye Qi Cheng, or Guye Fang Zheng. Before long, speculation spread among the young Gu masters.
At this rate, today's top scorer must be one of those three. All three managed to hit the puppet with every attack. I wonder which one the Academy Elder will rank highest. Wait. The final group is stepping forward. Fang Yuan is going up. Oh, the C-grade cold genius. Heck now, this should be entertaining.
At last, Fang Yuan walked onto the stage. Guye Mo Bei raised his eyes and studied Fang Yuan for a brief moment. Then, as though the outcome were already beneath his concern, he lowered his gaze again. Guye Qi Cheng folded his arms across his chest, contempt curling within his expression.
Last time you merely got lucky. You happened to choose a weak-willed Moonlight Gu and stole first place. Let us see what you can do now.
Within the crowd, Fang Zheng pressed his lips together and clenched both fists. He had trained relentlessly since the previous assessment. This time he believed the result would be different. This time he believed he would surpass his elder brother. In the Vital Gu Refinement assessment, Fang Zheng, the sole A-grade talent, had somehow taken second place. Fang Yuan, a mere C-grade talent, had claimed first. Once Fang Zheng learned that his brother's victory was attributed to luck, his dissatisfaction only deepened. For Fang Zheng, defeating Fang Yuan was never merely about an academy ranking. Fang Yuan had stood before him since childhood like an immense shadow, more intelligent and once praised as the clan's young genius. Victory here represented liberation. It was proof that talent, effort and destiny had finally chosen Fang Zheng instead. Many eyes gathered upon Fang Yuan. Even the Academy Elder watched him carefully. Yet Fang Yuan revealed nothing. His face remained cold and detached, untouched by mockery, expectation or hostility. Heh! He stood motionless as primeval essence flowed into the Moonlight Gu, resting within his palm. Blue radiance gathered, his hand cut through the air. The first moonblade flew, but it soared far too high. It passed over the grass puppet's head, crossed the bamboo wall behind it, and continued for nearly 15 meters before its light faded into nothingness. A snort of laughter broke the silence.
Was that not a little too ridiculous? He truly is a genius. No wonder he took first place in Gu Refinement.
The words were drenched in sarcasm. Years earlier, Fang Yuan had displayed remarkable intelligence and composed poetry beyond his age. The praise he received had planted resentment in many hearts. Then he had relied upon what everyone believed to be luck and taken first place during Vital Gu Refinement. Resentment became jealousy, and jealousy waited patiently for humiliation. The crowd did not merely want Fang Yuan to fail. They needed him to fail. His disgrace would reassure them that talent could fade, that brilliance could be false, and that their own mediocrity was nothing to fear. Laughter rolled across the training ground in waves. To those waiting for the former genius to expose himself, Fang Yuan's wild first attack was everything they had hoped to see. The Academy Elder shook his head and silently mocked his own earlier concern. Why had he paid Fang Yuan so much attention? The boy possessed only C-grade aptitude. His previous first-place result had been nothing more than fortune. In the Elder's heart, the ranking was already decided. Although Mo Bei, Qi Cheng and Fang Zheng had achieved similar results, he intended to place Fang Zheng first. The rivalry between Guye Mo Bei and Guye Qi Cheng reflected the political struggle between the clan's two most powerful elders. To favour either youth would mean stepping into that dangerous vortex. The Academy Elder had always remained between the factions. He had no desire to become a weapon in their contest. He leaned instead toward clan leader Gu Yebo, and Fang Zheng belonged to the clan leader's side. More importantly, Fang Zheng possessed A-grade aptitude. Choosing Fang Zheng would display favourable attention without provoking resistance from the clan's upper ranks. In the Gu world, even a children's assessment could not escape clan politics. Rankings were not determined by skill alone. Behind every decision stood bloodlines, alliances, future benefits, and the silent calculations of those in power. A warm spring breeze crossed the training ground, carrying the faint fragrance of flowers. Sunlight poured over Fang Yuan's body and stretched a solitary black shadow across the earth. His expression remained cold. His gaze rested quietly upon the grass puppet 10 meters away, while the Moonlight Gu in his palm emitted a faint blue glow. The first Moonblade had not missed because of incompetence. Fang Yuan had deliberately thrown it off course. Now only 2 attacks remained. Considering the Academy Elder's political position, merely matching the 3 leading students would never be enough. If Fang Yuan wished to seize first place, his remaining attacks had to create a result so overwhelming that no one could deny it. This was Fang Yuan's true strategy. A narrow victory could be manipulated by authority, but an undeniable victory would imprison authority within the rules. He was not merely aiming at the puppet, he was aiming at the Academy Elder's freedom to choose. Among the crowd, Fang Zheng watched without blinking. With only 2 chances left, he believed his brother's defeat was certain. Victory seemed close enough to touch. His fists tightened and excitement surged through his body until he trembled. For the first time, the shadow cast over his life by his elder brother appeared to be fading. In Fang Zheng's heart, this victory would be only the beginning. He imagined surpassing Fang Yuan again and again until every trace of inferiority was erased. He would prove to the clan that an A-grade genius stood far above a C-grade talent. Yet this confidence revealed Fang Zheng's deepest weakness. His sense of worth still depended upon Fang Yuan. Even his dream of greatness began not with pursuing his own path, but with defeating the brother he feared. At that very moment, Fang Yuan moved. His right palm became like a blade, cleaving through the empty air. A sharp tearing sound rang out. Watery blue radiance burst from his palm, condensed into a curved moonblade, and shot directly toward the grass puppet. Before the first blade had crossed the field, Fang Yuan's palm lit up once more. He turned his wrist and released the third moonblade. The 2 movements joined together as naturally as flowing water. There was no hesitation, no wasted motion, and no break between attacks. The twin moonblades raced through the air in rapid succession, separated by less than half a meter. Before the stunned eyes of the crowd, both struck the grass puppet at precisely the same place, its neck. 1 moonblade alone could wound the woven grass, but 2 perfectly aligned strikes concentrated their force upon a single weakened point. Fang Yuan had transformed limited power into a decisive result through timing, precision, and ruthless efficiency. Fang Zheng's pupils contracted. A chill of foreboding rose from the depths of his heart. Around him, the students slowly opened their mouths. Their earlier laughter vanished, replaced by disbelief. The grass puppet's head tilted to one side. Then it slipped free from the severed neck. It struck the ground, bounced once, and rolled 2 or 3 meters across the training field. Fang Yuan had beheaded the puppet. The result shattered every expectation on the field. The Academy Elder frowned. One question rose within him, and the same doubt haunted every watching student. Was this luck or skill? For several heartbeats, the entire training ground fell silent.
How could this be?
Fang Zheng stared blankly at his brother. The triumph that had surged within him moments ago collapsed like a tower whose foundation had been severed. His emotions plunged from the summit of anticipated victory into the deepest abyss. The cruelest defeat is not the one expected from the beginning. It is the defeat that arrives when victory already feels certain. Fang Zheng had begun celebrating before the contest ended, and Fang Yuan's 2 moonblades destroyed far more than a puppet. They restored the shadow Fang Zheng believed he had escaped. Fang Yuan merely narrowed his eyes. He seemed oblivious to the countless gazes now fixed upon him. Above the academy, beneath the vast blue sky and drifting white clouds, a flock of peacock parrots suddenly spread their wings. They flew playfully through the air, calling to one another as their long, slender tails streamed behind them. Fang Yuan stood alone at the center of the training field and lifted his gaze. Under the brilliant sunlight, the birds' many-coloured feathers shimmered with dazzling beauty. His face remained indifferent, as though the youth who had just severed the puppet's head had been someone else entirely. That indifference was perhaps more unsettling than the attack itself. Praise could not intoxicate him, ridicule could not disturb him, and victory brought no visible excitement. While the others struggled for recognition, Fang Yuan's thoughts had already wandered beyond the academy grounds. And one cannot help but wonder, if a simple academy assessment already revealed such calculation and control, how terrifying would Fang Yuan become once the conflicts of the Gu world truly began? Within his heart, Fang Yuan quietly admired the season. The spring light truly was enchanting.